Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. Yes, this should be a much better video. I'm using the 1080p camera again. I've also got a light on me now, plus my main light, plus the lamp. Um, Yet again, it's a really early video. This is at 3:30 in the morning now. Um, I've got quite a few videos to shoot this week. Just a quick announcement. I'm not gonna mention the company that I pre-order my movies from. But I pre-ordered Star Wars The Force Awakens 3D and it was scheduled to turn up Saturday for you guys. I pre-ordered this since last Monday, and they took my money on a Wednesday and they shipped it out on a Thursday. So it should have turned up Friday or Saturday and it didn't, so it's turning up tomorrow. So I'm sorry you guys didn't get that unboxing sooner than later. But hopefully it does actually turn up today and I can do it on the day its release is meant to be. But let's just get straight into this video. This is just a test video to see how well it does. This is just a quick Q&A video. I've asked my subscribers, I've asked fellow people that I subscribe to on YouTube, if anyone's just willing to ask me a couple of questions, just to get to know me as a movie fan and collector, just to get to know me, so to get more people interested in watching my videos and my certain tastes. The first person to obviously respond was my friend Arthur. I'm really grateful that you responded to that. I'm just you show me so much support. And also, if it wasn't for you, Arthur, my new channel arts wouldn't exist. And, my Back to My Future intros wouldn't exist. And stuff like that. I would be stuck with them really terrible ones that I made. So I'm really grateful for that. So thank you for at least asking the first question. And then one person did get back to me on YouTube. She's also a fellow movie fan, but she's also an author and film vlogger. Her name is Amy Mclean. I will put her link to her channel in the description below. She's done tons of videos. She's just an awesome person. So please go check her videos out. She was the first person I'm subscribed to actually contact me and say, yeah, sure, I'll ask you a couple of questions. And she asked me 3 very great questions. So it's not just going to be 2 random questions for this video. It is going to be 4. 1 by my friend Arthur and 3 by Amy Mclean. So thank you guys for asking these questions. I'm going to just do it in the order that I was asked. So obviously the 1 and then the 3. So let's just get into this. Arthur, it's a great question. Basically, just to sum it up, the question you asked me basically was, what was the movie that basically had the biggest impact on me out of all the movies I've talked about? Now, this is the bit that confused me because I didn't know what you meant, because you said in my back episode, so I took that as in my Back to My Future episodes. So if you meant that, the only movie out of all the ones that I've talked about, don't forget, I've only up to 99, so between the ages of being born to the age of 6, the only one that I remember actually seeing out of all these in a cinema itself was The Iron Giant. If you didn't mean just in Back to My Future, if you meant in all my videos, I choose Warcraft. So I'll just mention both of those for a second. Iron Giant, the only reason I say that gave me a really great experience, especially at the age of 6, was the fact that by that age, for any normal boy or girl, we have our toys and we have imaginary friends and we grow up with these fantasies in our head that we're talking to people that aren't there. Sometimes parents and friends can understand and relate to that kind of thing, whereas most people just think you're crazy. But for me, growing up, I had my friends were my toys and my action figures and stuff. All the big ones, all small ones, just make stories and stuff and just talk to them when I got home. From trips or seeing family or school, I'll just come back and I'd sit around. So I think it's the connection between man and machine. 2 people that feel left out, and I felt left out because I was crazy as a kid. I was definitely different from all my brothers. All my brothers had something similar in common. I was completely different. So I think that is what made, when walking out, I was like, this kid's me. I'm not going to tell you what happens in the movie, Arthur, because I know you said you haven't seen it yet and you want to check it out. But there's a certain thing that happens towards the end, And I considered myself and thought to myself, like, if this had to happen to me in a way, I think you'll understand when you see it. If this had to happen to me, I could never have the courage to do it. Um, that's all I can say about this one is it did have a great impact because as a kid, my heart bled for this movie. But if you're talking about all my videos that I've done, I'm gonna just do a quick thing about Warcraft. Out of all the movies that have come out since I've started going to the cinema more frequently, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've always been a movie fan, but I was never a cinema fan growing up. I hardly went to the cinema, only when family offered to take me. I've never seen like, I mean, in total, I've seen like maybe 30 films in cinemas since I was a kid, so I feel really bad. But we didn't go to cinema too often because it was meant to be a family thing, but only a certain amount of us would want to go. So there's no point wasting money on just a couple of tickets growing up. It was just, if the family didn't want to do it, we waited till it came out kind of thing. Um, but the only reason I chose Warcraft is because, man, Warcraft proved that not all video game based movies are absolutely terrible pieces of crap. I went into Warcraft thinking, is this going to be like Street Fighter? Is this going to be like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Mortal Kombat's okay, but it's not a great adaptation from the game, really. I mean, you know what I mean? Everyone's seen Mortal Kombat now. It's not what you expect when you hear Mortal Kombat. But, you know, Warcraft proved for sure that video game movies are actually now, especially nowadays in day and age, they can be successes. So yeah, I mean that's the best I can give you for that question, man. The Iron Giant because it's a bond that I can relate with, and Warcraft because it proved a lot of people wrong. And I'm hoping Assassin's Creed does the same. Although I will say this now, Warcraft is still my favourite movie of 2016 by far. I'm sorry to Civil War. I'm sorry to Batman v Superman. I'm gonna be sorry to Doctor Strange when I watch that. I'm gonna be sorry to a lot of movies that came out this year. Even the 3D Star Wars. But Warcraft was just a really great movie that had me jumping out and basically shouting at every scene. So that's what wins. So thank you, Arthur, for your question. I'm hoping you like my answers to this. I'm sorry if they're not the answers you kind of expected, but like I said, Iron Giant's practically the only one I ever really saw in cinemas at the time. Um, that's the only one I could talk about from Back to My Future episodes. But if you meant all videos combined, it definitely is Warcraft. Um, now on to Amy's questions. And like I said, thank you for your questions and in your help with doing this video as it is a test video. So it is nice to have, and plus it's nice to have a guy and a woman both asking questions because it shows the different thoughts in questions that you both have. So it's nice to have that kind of difference as well. So it is great. The first question you asked me was which film title would be like, basically what would be the best title from a movie for my autobiography. Basically what you're asking me is what film title suits the title of my autobiography. And it would be a series of unfortunate events. I know that sounds extreme. It sounds extremely bad. I'm not going to talk a lot about everything, but I'll just give you a quick recap. Since the age of 11, 12, I lost a lot of people, like year after year in my family. It went my nan, my uncle, my eldest brother, my dad, my other nan, and then my uncle. It went in so many steps every year. Someone else got taken. Since I think it was my eldest brother's death, I've been in at least a good several really bad relationships where I was mentally abused, physically abused due to the fact that I don't hit women, and the girls that I went out with kind of enjoyed the fact that I wouldn't hit them back, so they kind of used that advantage. And basically, just a lot of bad shit has happened to me in my life, and the one thing that's always kept me positive was my movies. So whenever anything happened, I'd come home and I'd put a movie in, and no matter what happened outside, I was happy. I was lost because a movie would go on and I would just think, like, yes, I can sit here for a good hour, an hour and a half and enjoy my life. So I didn't want to talk about anything kind of personal. But one thing everyone knows before is I'm an honest person when it comes to reviews or opinions and questions. So I'm just giving out, like, I think if I had to do an autobiography, it would be a series of unfortunate events because so much bad has happened. I'm not saying there's no good. A lot of good's happened too. But a lot of bad did happen and probably will still happen, as for some reason it does. But that's a part of life. We got to get on with it. But it's those unfortunate events and movies that makes me the man I am today. And the me, like 4 or 5 years ago, would never have had the courage to even show my face. If you look at my first couple of videos on YouTube, about 2-3 years ago, I didn't like my face being on camera. It was always just hand views. And a lot of people are like that just because, you're nervous to show who you are because there's going to be people that recognize you in real life instead of behind the camera. People ain't going to always know you as the person you are in your videos. They're going to know you for the person they see and they've known since school days and work or whatever. But it's because of these things and movies that's made me kind of have more encouragement in my life. The second question you asked me was which film bears closest resemblance to one of the best days of my life. That's a weird one. I have to think very carefully about this, and actually I'll explain why. It's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now, it's not for the reasons that the story exactly is. It's more for the reasons of why, the emotion. Basically, I was in this really bad relationship, back to that again, in 2010. And we went to this club. The person I was seeing, cousin, owned the club in the middle of London somewhere. So we went down there. And it turned out she was, basically going behind my back in the room with one of her cousin's friends while I was left on the dance floor. First time ever going to a club. And basically, I bumped into this woman, and we got talking. Basically, the person I was with at the time broke up with me when I walked into the back room and saw her doing that shit. That's it, we're over, get out there. So I was going to leave, but I bumped into this woman and we had drinks and we started talking. She asked me why I was there and I asked why she was there. And it turned out we were both there because we were trying to avoid the people that we just broke up with. So we ended up drinking, having a good laugh, started dancing. Next thing you know is the person I was with has come out of the room in the back, saw me dancing with this person and basically dragged me out of the club. And I started writing poems for like a year about this person, and the person that I was with was having a go at me. And I said, look, I'm never going to see them again. I was that idiot who stayed with people even though they hurt me. So it was a very stupid thing that I was doing. But instead of doing the wrong thing, I just wrote poems about that night being one of the best nights of my life. Because even though it didn't last that long, it was still meeting someone who, do you know in those days when you kind of go around the street and you think like, oh, that person doesn't notice like who I am, but then you find that one person who's like exactly like you in a way but completely different. It was like that. So, and then it turns out in 2013, so about 3 years odd later, I met this woman again, and I've been with this woman for nearly 4 years. So I guess, yeah, so what was mine. Like it's when Jim Carrey's character Joel, he meets Clementine on the train or the bus, and they start talking and they get together, and then they play this tape in a car as like one of their voices. I think it's like Clementine's voice complaining about Joel, and then they go to Joel's apartment and there's like a tape, him complaining about Clementine. Oh, it's the other way around. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But it's like they knew each other, had a relationship, went to that guy, the doctor erased their thoughts of each other, but then still ended up meeting up. So it was like fate, destiny. So when you said, name a movie title that's the closest resemblance to one of the best days of my life, it's that. Because when I met back, I didn't even know that the woman that I've been with now, my partner, my fiance, like, I didn't know she was the one in the club until my ex randomly sent me a picture of the woman that I was in the nightclub with, and right next to me is the picture of my fiance back then wearing the exact same outfit, the same hairstyle, in the same club, and it was dated the same day. So, it was weird, very coincidental, but it was good. It's very, very good. And the third question you asked me was, what is the first movie? I think the first movie that I remember watching. Okay, that I remember watching. Now, this was confusing. I remembered one, which is the one that you asked me, but I couldn't remember whether that was the first one I'd watched or another one was. So I had to go and speak to my mum, as she knows more than I do about it, because I thought I was much older than I was when I watched these movies, and it turns out I wasn't as old as I thought I was. So basically, I'm just gonna name them both, if that's okay. It's Carry On Screaming and Ernest Scared Stupid. Both really great movies, and I definitely remember watching them both as kids. I was obsessed with Ernest for a start. I even bought the same hat and little denim waistcoat thing. And I love Carry On Screaming just because of frying tonight, so like stuff like that. But I definitely knew Carry On Screaming was one of the first movies I've ever seen and remember. But I couldn't remember if I'd watched one beforehand. So I asked and said, no, it's either Carry On Screaming or Ernest Scared Stupid. So I put them both down. It's definitely one of them that I watched first and actually remember. So anyway, I'm going to apologise if the Q&A went a bit weird. It's just because I like being honest and I like being truthful and I like explaining how I feel. And questions were a title, and if I just said series of unfortunate events, it would have I guess I should have left it, because then people would have been asking more questions like why. But I guess I just wanted to give the honesty from that. And Tales from Southern Spotless Mind, same reason. I wanted to let people know why I chose these as my answers. Carry On Screaming and Ernest Scared Stupid were two of the greatest comedy films I grew up with. There's definitely a lot more now as well that I remember a couple of years after growing up that I remember. But I guess starting up watching movies, those two are probably the best I could have watched. So yeah, that is just the Q&A. I wish it could have been a tiny bit longer, a few more questions, but I'm grateful for the questions I was asked, and I'm grateful for the contributions that you both gave me. As I said, Arthur is the guy that helped do my arts for my channel. He hasn't got a channel yet, and Arthur, I hope you do start a channel soon, man. I want to see your collections as well. You're a 3D guy just like me, so I want to see your pickups. And Amy Mclean, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you as well. You're a great YouTuber, and I'm glad to be a subscriber to you. And thank you for answering the message I sent about, want to ask me any questions to get to know me. I hope you watch this. Very thankful to you. But as I said, I'm going to put Amy Mclean's link in the description below, so you guys can check out her channel. Please do. She's already got a lot of subscribers, and I'm pretty sure she's going to get a lot more anyway. Without me saying this, but I want to just show that I'm very supportive, and without your questions, this would have just been a one question video. But I still would have been glad to do that one question because my friend Arthur asked me to do that question. So either way, this was still a fun video to do for you guys. I'm hoping you all enjoyed it. So that is the end. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Q&As, please show your support by clicking that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to strike the like for future videos, and I will see you guys next time.